and then you okay?
Yeah, you click on the recorder a long time ago, and all of a sudden it just came on.
Oh no.
So now I'm missing the whole beginning of the.
Oh, that's okay. And so anyhow, for this lovely family, because they had come to me for a reason, and we were accurate with the information. I said, okay, good. So he's accurate with that. I need to follow it up with this. He says, please wait 6 months. He will wake up in 6 months, because they came to me for validation one way or another. That's why I'm like, no matter what, you trust yourself. But as you know, I think that when you're on life support and that, it can sometimes become very expensive after years and years of being in that capacity. And so the great thing is the family connected back, and just before the 6-month window was up, he woke up. He saved his own life from a coma. That's why I'm like, no, the brain activity is lovely, but that's nothing to me but a computer. We're not a bunch of brains walking around when we're energy consciousness.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Yeah, like I told you, I said, when I woke up from mine, there were like 6 big. They were big to me. I don't know, but the doctors, and that was their list and everything else, and that, and their studies and whatever they were doing to me at the time. Because don't forget, they had to sew the brain back together.
Wow.
It was split in 2.
So that's what happened to you. No, I'm kidding.
That's what happened to me. They had to connect all the nerves and everything when they did it. So, and all I knew was first of all, I was hungry. Man, was I hungry. Oh, I was so hungry. And they said, no. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I said, what do you mean? Eggs, bacon. And I'm telling them. And, at that point, like you have to relearn talking. So what you think in your brain, you're saying, it's not coming out exactly the same way. But it was interesting because, technology and doctors and God had a lot to do with it. Because let's face it, I should not be sitting here. I should not be talking like this. I should not be doing anything.
And yet you are.
Yeah, but I am. I don't get it. And I actually, to tell you the truth, I walked, and I think I told you this, I walked out of the hospital. They wanted to put me in a wheelchair to take out, to go out and everything else. I said, no. And who do I walk into the elevator when I'm going down to the, lobby or whatever on the elevator? Was the doctor to put my brain back together. Wow. No wheelchair. This guy freaked out. What are you doing? There's no shit about. I said to the doctor, says, Doc, I'm out of here.
Nice. And apparently he had no choice but to go, okay.
The guy it was a complete accident. The guy was an Italian doctor from Italy over in America to learn the technology that was used to do what he did to me.
Wow. It's fantastic.
To learn it. I was the mouse.
Yeah. You were the test subject. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And you apparently did a great job.
He did something. I don't know, for some reason. I get an itch on what I think is my nose, and it's really my leg. And,
God.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a phone call.
Cool. Let's do it.
Okay. Will the person with the area code 250 please say hello?
Oh, yes. Hello.
Yes. I hear you.
Hey.
To finally get on here.
What'd you say?
I'm so glad to finally get on here.
Excellent. And thanks for calling in, man.
We're good, man. We will take you anytime. Here is Jamie and Maggie.
Hey, so what's up? How can we be of service to you? What are you looking for?
Oh, Jamie and Maggie, I really need your help. Okay. Oh gosh, where do you start?
What's your first name, love?
Not lately. Oh, okay. Now that's a good question. I wrote a book, and it's Georgia Love, but I don't use that anymore. And my first name is Helena.
Oh, beautiful.
So, and how could I say? It's been very trying lately. A lot of crazy mix-up. And I'm just hoping you're going to be able to tell me it's finally going to smooth over. It's just been very weird.
Yes. No, it's what you want to hear. It's what you need to hear. And I know it's not easy, but as you're saying that, I do feel like the dynamic, the direction in life that you're going is going to start to have the pieces fall together. It'll start to come back into place. So I would have to say there's a very, very, very good potential that you're going to start going in a much more productive direction. Because like, okay, you've got this, but it's no fun when we have to survive or exist in life. It's now ready to start living. And Mag is going to throw down a few cards. And I believe you said you wrote a book, but there's another book in your energy field. So have you thought about writing another book?
Well, Amazon and Oprah and Trafford buried my book. But right now, I'm sending it out as a PDF for $10.
Nice.
And I do it through an e-transfer. And this Trafford company for the last 14 years has sent me $1.84 commission or royalties for the last 14 years. Well, Amazon finally canceled it. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do it myself. I don't have $6,000 to do an audio book. And I really, at this point, don't even have $1,000 to print out, 100 books.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I just keep thinking, God, how can I get this information out there? And yes, once I get that one doing something, I would love to write another book, but it seems so hopeless.
Understandable.
This with what was going on, being just stopped in every way. And it was written with a lot of spiritual information in it about numerology and dowsing and all the understanding of this book. But it also explains that the 9/11 was an inside job. And this was done in 2014 or 2009, pardon me. And so it was way ahead of its time. Now that book would sell, but I don't know where the heck to go to get. Like, I self-published it. I got so fed up with Trafford. And I was able to, for a while, get it done for $4.50 a copy from CreateSpace. But CreateSpace went under, and now it's like $12 a copy, and nobody wants to spend $22 on a book.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
It made it so hard, but it's a book that really needs to be out there. But anyway,
keep going.
What I would listeners know of any place where I can get this printed. It's already published the whole bit. This one company, I hope you don't mind me going on about this.
Go right ahead. We're listening.
Called me, and they wanted $2,000 to, since it was published, promote it. But I mean, I just don't have that kind of money. It's been really, really bad lately.
Sure.
Every time I turn around, everything is double the price.
Yeah, huh?
Audience can really relate to that.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yes, ma'am. What do you got, Meg?
So I threw
Yes.
I threw some cards down for you, Helena. So I'm going to start doing the reading here, and then I'll check in with you and see how we're going as I go. All right?
Sounds
okay. So that you have the Knight of Pentacles as a focus. So this is a time where things are going to take a little bit longer than you want them to. I'm not going to sugarcoat this too much in the sense that usually when this card shows up, it's a time where we have to go inward and really process what it is that we are learning. You do have the Hierophant coupling this. So the Hierophant shows up to say, hey, is this like a life lesson that keeps coming back and keeps coming back and keeps coming back? And are you aware of the lesson that's here again? And how does that feel? So these are things that you can ask yourself. If it's not a life lesson, there is this energy of what is the lesson in that so that you feel powerful going forward. And this is something that is very, very intense right now. Just the word power is very intense for many, many people for what's happening on the planet. And I do feel like you want to be a leader, you want to move forward, you want to feel 100%, and that you know that that's who you are inside. So you're pulling from a lot of soul wisdom, you're pulling from a lot of this is who I am energy. but to manifest all of it. And when I say all of it, I mean not just the book, but all of what you want to do and all of how you want to harmonize your life. You're going to have to be very patient. And the most important thing is to identify where you give your power away. And if you're not giving your power away at all, identify where you can bring more self-love into the mix. We see this with the 9 of Cups showing up, because whatever's happening in your life right now is a reflection for you to see, how am I going forward with this life lesson? How am I integrating how powerful I am? Am I using all the tools of self-love, self-acceptance, self-awareness to really, really sit with this vibration of love? Because a lot of times we want things to change. We want things to go faster than they're going. We want things to get completed. And right now, it's about tuning into the peace and the compassion and the self-awareness that you have, to where you feel powerful with all of the change that's happening in the world, all of the change that you want to see and that you're not seeing. How do you make a concerted effort and awareness just to be like, okay, I can just at least accept this about where I'm at, and I could move forward feeling more powerful. There is, and you do have the 4 of Wands coming up as a kind of an outcome card, or what you're moving into. And this is going to be bringing like everything back to par, almost like your energy levels back up, more of a structure for your energy can flow, and feeling like you have flow again in your life. Does this all relate to what you're feeling?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, good.
And very, very weird. I had to, 20 years ago, I had to go to my single name. And so I own a property, and it was in my married name, and I'm not with that person anymore. And so to be able to get my property back into my name so that I could sell it in the future, I had to go back to that married name and leave my single name, which I really love, behind. And that has been quite a vortex. Oh my goodness, like a lot of going back 20 years. And
Yes.
Helena Cooper was my last name then. I was quite successful. I could manifest things. Things happened. As Janie Gow, my single name, right? I even had to drop the first name. I have not been able to manifest things. I would work and work and work at stuff and put my whole heart and devotion into it, and no result. And
Right.
so going back to Helena Cooper, yeah, and I spell it differently now too. It's an 8 and a 9 because I do numerology, right?
Absolutely. Why not?
Beautiful.
Why not tweak
Or
those numbers?
power come back to power come back to me, because Helena, the way I spell it now, is an 8 and the Cooper is a 9. So I'm going to be able to manifest again and get things to happen. And of course, 20 years working so hard on so many projects with absolutely no success. I mean, none.
Yeah. And
I
and
learned a lot. I learned a lot about.
and that's the
Well, I
key.
just like.
That right there is the key. You learned a lot. And so even when these times when things aren't going the way we want them to go, because trust me, I've been butting my head up against 20 years of work that I'm doing too right now. When we do that in our lives, the lessons, the patience, the what you learn, it's so valuable, because it's going to make you stronger, more powerful, more integrated into who you are, more loving of all the challenges. All they're meant to do is to guide us back to love, to guide us back to self-acceptance and self-awareness. So I'm super excited about, you shifting your name around for the numerological aspects, and then also hold those vibrations even when we can't change our names. If people are out there listening and they can't change their name legally for whatever reason at the moment, you can shift the vibration numerologically by holding different numbers with your name, or adding a 1 on the end when you think of yourself, or adding a 2 if you wanted to manifest and your name adds up to a 6 and you want to be an 8, so you can energetically add those to your name too. But what you're doing, Helena, right now is you're getting things back up to par, but accepting those life lessons and really digging in and learning all the lessons that you could possibly learn of 20 years of hardship. That is the beauty. And I am going to sugarcoat 20 years of hardship right here, because everything in life will point us and direct us back to self-awareness and back to self-love. And if you can really dig in there and ask your heart and ask your body and ask your mind and ask every part of who you are to accept and to integrate and to love it all, then we can start seeing the shift of energy happen. And it's going to take as long as it takes. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be a quick ride, not with the night year. This is more of a patient ride, but it's a patient ride to success. And it's a patient ride of powerful connections and understandings of who you are in the universe.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something. We have here in Canada, what they're trying to do is bring in the digital things so that you can't have any cash. And that down the road, Trudeau is trying to bring it in so that we all have to take the vax.
Mhm.
I do not want to take that horrible CD19 vax. That man has become a multi-millionaire by having royalties from this vax. So he has been pushing it so hard on all of us. And it's killing seniors, as you probably know. Younger people are going to last longer, but seniors is very fast.
Yeah.
So it's just so frustrating, because do we ever get rid of this idiot? I mean, insane person. I mean, the crimes he has done would make your hair curl. I could keep you entertained for 8 hours straight.
I think we could probably rival you in a few of those down here in the US. But what we will say with politics is, I'm just going to let politics be politics. But I will say, across the board, worldwide right now, we are experiencing a huge shift of consciousness, and we're seeing more of the extremes of negative expressions and the extremes of positive expressions of that shift of consciousness. And we no longer are going to be able to necessarily sit on the fence or just ride it out. We're going to have to choose, okay, I need to grow with this expansion that's happening, or I'm going to get sucked under. But we are seeing some more of those extremes come to light, because there's a lot of influences astrologically and just consciously in the world that are bringing light to situations and helping us reveal things that have been hidden, things that need to be uncovered, and things that have been I guess just people got away with it for one reason or another because it wasn't brought to the light. Now things that are being brought to the light, people aren't going to stand for it for too much longer. And this is something that everybody's aware of. Like, you can push and push and push, but when the bull digs in his heels, isn't going to move anymore. And so you just have to make your decisions off of, where you are right now, who you are right now. And I pray that it's never forced upon you to do something that you don't want to do for your own body. And other than praying and other than holding space that we're all going to be one big happy family one day, I really, you got something to add here. Go ahead.
For Helena, for the legal document aspect, if you already have what it is that you were looking for to have to change your name to get, once you've got that, are you able to change your name, or is it legally you're not ever allowed to change your name, even though you now own whatever the place is?
I can go back, but I don't know if I'd want to, because I chose my single name because my life was in danger. And I don't believe my life is in danger now, other than having to take the damn jab. But the thing is, Helena Cooper is a name I really love, especially when you say it. And that's what I want to tell your audience. Maybe you can't change your name legally, but you can change it on how it is said. Because when I say Helena, it's an Halayna instead of Helena. Helena is a 9, and my surname is a 9, whether it's Gow or Cooper. Excellent. And in fact, I was married 3 times, and every last surname was a 9. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't find out for many years later that I was just a victim times 2. And I learned that from a Roman Catholic priest who had left the priesthood and was doing numerology. And so it's very, very interesting, our path and how it goes, like how we go. I'm going to ask you if maybe you can pull a card. I want very much to sell everything I have in British Columbia, Canada. So if anybody from the States wants to move here, you can get my name, I'm sure, and phone number from Charles, Robert Charles, right? Or Bob Charles, pardon me, who has this show. Because I want to move to Kentucky. I want to be around those Squamish and around the history of Kentucky. And I just keep thinking, God, am I ever? And that's where my family comes from. They were housed in Kentucky and they wanted to be loyal to the Queen. Oh my God. So they went to Southern Ontario and was the worst thing they ever did. So I'm just hoping that somehow I can get back to Kentucky.
I feel like you will.
Yeah, I feel like you will too. The Page of Pentacles pops up when you ask the question about will I ever get to Kentucky? And I feel like you will. This is for new experiences when you're ready, when you are absolutely ready. Yes.
And again, the best that you can, what I would love for you to think about doing, Helena, is at least a minute or more a day. I want you to just sit down and feel yourself already moved. You're already in your new home here in the U.S. Put that energy, the tactile senses, everything that you can get, the best that you can, as if it's already there. Because on that quantum level, like quantum physics stuff, all potential experiences are happening now.
Yeah.
All potential outcomes are happening now. The more that you can vibe as an energy of happiness, success, love, opportunity, whatever it is, the more from that quantum field that will be a vibrational match, no karma, but a natural law that will bring you the people, circumstances, experiences getting you there. Now, as I said that, there's also a very strong potential that you might connect with somebody who is going to be able to go, oh, Helena, you know what? I had that circumstance. And if you'll do this, you'll be able to take that book here and get it going. You'd be like, oh my God, that's crazy cool. That was easy. Yeah. It'll be just this other person who's gone through something similar to you, but will give you the outcome to go, okay, so things can change. Because even though you have the right intention, you've been working your tail off and trying to share, apparently it may not have been as productive as it could be. The more, for me, just for me, I create those future memories. I already see and feel my life before I even get to that point, because I know that if I plant those seeds, think those thoughts of whatever it is that I do want, more effectively the people, circumstances, experiences will come in matching more of what I accept as a reality. Because I wanted to make sure I'm not manipulating other people to get what I'm looking for. There's enough for everyone and so much more. But yeah, if you're okay, Helena, I would love for you to think about doing that. A minute or more a day. The more you do it, the stronger that vibe gets. And in the beginning, when you're creating that, people on average only see above the surface of consciousness of what you're creating, that tip of the iceberg. And they'll tend to go, gosh, you're so lucky. What a coincidence. You'd be like, yeah, sure, luck. But they're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, right? They don't see below the surface and all of the life experience and tools and techniques that you've built upon to get to that point. You're that teacher vibe who is going to help others to help themselves. And sometimes you'll be shut down enough in one direction so that you do need to go in a different direction, which is pretty much what's happening. And I do feel like that this person will come to you, so you're just doing you, whatever it's going to be. But there does seem to be some kind of familiarity with this person. So either you know them, you've connected with them before, they're a friend of a friend, but there's some kind of a familiarity with this person. And it feels very practical. I feel like the information will be very doable on your point to go, they'll be talking about whatever it is. They'll be like, hey, you know what, if you'll do this and put it here and you can do this, you'd be like, oh, wow, that was easier than I thought. But it will be this person that's gone through something very similar to you that was able to pull themselves out and get going. Because it's not easy to go, oh, yeah, be happy and see all the success when things aren't happening. So for me, if I didn't know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, to what I wanted to be, how do I want to feel? Happy, successful, empowered, fulfilled. And then I started taking myself back to younger childhood or whenever there was a time, because I'm not making crap up. I'm recalling a real feeling of information. And the more that I would start to vibe with that, the more I would bring in the people, circumstance, and experiences with a very similar vibe, a vibrational match. And when I started realizing I'm not making other people do this, it's a co-creation, not a manipulation, I was even more open to make these connections. In addition, what I would love for you to think about doing besides that one is a minute or more, because a lot of people see, I see the book on the bookshelves and there's a bunch of them, and then they stay on the friggin' bookshelf. My thing is yeah, okay, that's nice, but see it in people's hands. Let them hear that story that you have online that they can click into and but a button push away. And the more that you put that energy out there, again, they're not going to go into a trance. They'll start to buy more of your, in this case, your creation, the book that at the moment you weren't able to. I think, like I do back in the earlier days, you had to have a publishing company, you got to pay them all that, you get a certain percentage, and now we can do all of this on our own. So I know it's not easy,
Yeah.
but I do feel like you are going in a productive direction.
Okay. I so appreciate your readings. I feel now, okay, somehow I just got to sell everything here and just the bare minimum and just get myself to Kentucky,
Yes.
because I feel my life will start as soon as I can get there. It's like the last 20 years has been a learning experience, and patience and wisdom and compassion. Oh my Lord, compassion so much stronger.
And you've got
And
it in diamonds.
awareness.
Yes. Again,
And
put this
I'm
stuff together.
already looking at homes in Kentucky,
Excellent.
going and visiting online the little cities and that, because I want to write love stories with the old memories of the soldiers there that died in the Civil War, and
Beautiful.
bring it up to the future, how their families still went on and how their ancestors have contributed to them having happy, successful lives today. And this is what I do with my dowsing. I connect people with their moms and dads and grandparents and aunties that have passed over, and help them to realize. And it's the first steps in becoming a medium, is developing that telephone line between you and that other person that you trust on the other side. And
yeah,
I still want to do that.
Beautiful.
Good. Now look, all you're doing is talking about this, yet look at the emotional response that you're vibing with. Yeah, a minute or more, just vibe with that. Just let it be that. Because you're not making stuff up. You're recalling, you're talking about something, even though you're not there yet. Look at how it makes you feel. Once I get there, I'm going to be able to what? You're going to be in a proactive state of experience now and less of a reactive state. Because on average, most of us live in a reactive state. You do this, you're having to find this for yourself. Yeah. And what if, and again, it's not easy, but what if some of what you're dealing with that you're going to overcome is going to be some of the very same dynamics that you'll be able to help other people with in their life experience? And not that we have to go through everything, but when you've gone through something like that and you've got, like you do, the love and compassion, people are like, okay, so Helena, it's not like everything's perfect for you and you're just trying to help me. It's, I feel like you've been through your stuff, and you know what? You've got a great outcome. So if what you're going to share with me is going to get me more of what you're doing, I'm listening, because I love your end result. But I always say, if you're talking about things and you're not living it, that's kind of like you're 800 pounds at a gym telling people, I'm going to show you how to look good. The average person will be like, wow, that's beautiful.
I am going to do it. I'm going to do I don't know if in your states, but when they graduate and they have their prom, our students here have an 8-hour overnight at the gym, and people come in and do different things. Comedians. I've offered my ability to do astrology and to do dowsing and tarot, like a wise woman tarot, where there's no bad cards in the deck, just love cards. And to help these young people know that they've got a spirit and a soul and they're divine. And I'm going to be doing that, I hope, for at least 4 high schools here in this coming spring.
Excellent.
On Saturdays, I go and I try, and I do it. I show people the dowsing, and I show them how they connect with their mom or their dad who's passed over. And it's so rewarding.
All right, let's let some more people come in here on this.
That is awesome. Helena, thanks for connecting, and I hope that helps for you.
Yes, thank you so much.
You got it. Please keep us posted as you move it along. Let us know what's going on with you.
Babe, you are the babe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in Canada, but she's the babe. Tell me.
Good. Have fun, and we'll
right,
be definitely talking to you again.
You can hang out if you want to. Just put yourself on mute.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Awesome. Who else we got, Bobby?
Hey, let's see who's here. Okay, who is on area code 623? I think it said 521.
Hi.
There you go. You're on with Jamie and Maggie.
Hey, what's up?
Hi guys, how are you?
Awesome. How are you? And what's your first name?
My first name is Kyler.
Kyler. We've spoken to you before, haven't we?
Yeah, not too long ago. It's been a couple months, I think.
Feels familiar.
Yeah. How can we
So,
help you
what's
today?
going on?
Yeah, so I just wanted to call and listen to the show. I'm doing a couple things around the house, but when the show's on, I always try to listen as much as I can.
Beautiful. Hey, you are very intuitive, Kyler.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like you can't hide that energy. Now it's a matter of what are you going to do with it? What do we want to do? Because I feel like you're ready to help other people, but you're also like me. You got to make sure you're helping yourself too. That way you're not a hypocrite. Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm no longer a hypocrite. I'll always be of service to others. Right, exactly. And I keep myself included. You've got a beautiful soul like that. I feel like, if you can help someone, you'll do it. Don't be making crap up. You get it, you give it. And there's that type of honest sincerity that I feel like is happened from you. That's beautiful. And Mag is throwing down some cars for you. I've always been, because I do this all day long, but I question everything, man. But I've always been impressed with not only the way that Mag reads the tarot, but with the astrology, all these planetary alignments and the people who have those signs. On average, a lot of people who have those particular qualities and characteristics of that particular sign, it's brilliant. I'm like, holy crap. That's amazing. Mag and I did an episode recently on the stars aligning and planetary aspects. What if in some ways you've chosen the way that the planets were aligning, so when you came here, you were vibing with certain qualities and characteristics?
So, Kyler, I just threw down some cards. You have 5 out of 5 cards thrown down that are all cups. So, this is a time of immense sensitivity. And this could be sensitivity across the board. It can be emotional, it could be intuitive, it could it's you're really being sensitized right now. So, if you're feeling emotionally empathic, that is something that will bubble up here. You have what I call the empath card, which I call the Queen of Cups. You have that here, smack dab center. You also have a card that brings in emotional connections and relationships. This can be internal for yourself, but also external. So if you have been feeling very empathic and very tuned into vibrations, this could be the empathy with partnerships, with relationships, but it can also just be a sensitizing time where your abilities to feel, to sense, to intuit, to receive are being amped up. And I feel like this is something that you've been either working with or you've been asking, hey, higher self, I want better psychic reads or something like this. I feel like you're using the connection to your higher self. You're using the connection to intuition. I feel like that's what's being firmed up for you. So keep doing the work that you're doing, because right now what I'm seeing is that this relationship with the higher self and with your intuition is going to give you more of a self-awareness energy, more of a self-understanding, self-acceptance even. It could even be self-love. We love self-love. So just kind of ride this wave, and if you are feeling overwhelmed with the amount of water here, because it's all water, there's no other elements going on here, then whatever you can do to help harmonize the element of water. You can wash your hands throughout the day if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed. You can take a shower more often. You could do anything to help cleanse your energy, or just kind of help things move through, because there is a ton of water here. But I see it as more of a sensitizing type of vibration for you. Does that make sense, Kyler?
Yeah, it does. When you mention the water, it's funny you say that, because I find myself washing my hands a lot. And so when you were talking about water, that kind of makes sense. I've been finding a connection with water lately, and I've been feeling myself taking more showers during the whole day, and
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
not
And
that not that I need to get more clean, but it
Just the energy.
it
uh,
cleans,
your
water is a natural cleanser for energy. Yeah. So keep doing that because I think it's going to help harmonize what you're feeling, but you are going to become more sensitive and you might feel like you need to rinse off more, so to speak, because you're feeling other people's emotions or tapped into consciousness in new ways. So just keep using that as a tool. That's fantastic that you're already doing that. It's just our bodies know, right? They just will guide us. They will guide us to the right elements for sure.
Well, and as you know, well, those who know me, I talk about Dr. Masaru Emoto, who was a scientist who wrote a book called The Hidden Messages in Water. And he wanted to see if the molecular structure of water holds thought patterns thought within it. And each and every time he did these testings, he's got the same results. And they have pictures on it so that you can see if you're interested. And so what he did was basically take two separate containers of water, and he had one group send one container challenging negative bad thoughts and froze it. The other container, he had people send it positive, loving, happy thoughts and froze it. Each and every time he took those ice crystals out, sliced them up, and put them under an electron microscope, he saw that the molecular structure of the water that was sent negative and bad thoughts was gross and murky. And the molecular structure of the love and positive was like snowflakes and prisms. I always say there's a few things that are almost 70% water on the planet. That would be the oceans in the human body, and the brain is almost 80%. And what people don't realize is on average for the shower thing, hey, I tend to get a lot of ideas. What if your intent alone is vibing that you get ideas when you're in the shower? So what happens? You get ideas when you're in the shower.
I think that's great. One question I had for Maggie or Jamie. Right now, I'm a manager in the kitchen at a hospital.
Cool.
And I was wanting to see if it was in the cards or if you guys picked up psychically about how long do you think I'll be at this place in my life career-wise? Or do you see some shifts and some changes happening in the future?
I had to see some shifts and changes happening in the future. And it's a lot sooner rather than later. I don't get years. I do get a very strong potential within the next 6 months from this day or sooner might opportunities start being offered. Now, just because anything's offered doesn't mean you have to choose it, but watch, more than likely, it'll be like, oh, wow, that was, you know what? So all I'd have to say is yes. And the good thing is whatever's offered, if you don't choose that and you do what you're doing, then it's because you choose to, not because you have to, because this other opportunity was offered. And we all got to pay the bills. We got to do our thing. But I feel like you're ready for change. Even though I'm sure you're very successful in what you're doing in that way, you need to change. It's going to shift your consciousness. And what's been great so far, you're going to start to outgrow, which is a little bit of what I feel like is happening.
Yeah, I agree. I've been in my current field for about 15 years, so I can kind of feel a change coming.
Yep.
It's just a matter of when. It's like a matter of not if, but when, and how it's gonna all come about. But I think what's happening right now, as it's day by day getting to the point where I'll be operating out of my purpose and soul purpose in life. So I can't wait. It's exciting.
Yes. Yes. You're ready for it. Do it.
And for you and every listener, all you have to do is be you, and you're going to do an amazing job with your soul purpose.
Yeah. And the passion, whatever it is that you have passion for, that is what speaks to people.
Yep.
Just do you, because you've got a really nice energy. Plus, I feel like, yeah, you're playful, but also stay humble. We're no better, we're no worse. Just do you. And I do feel like that if you're able to assist somebody with a kind word or something, you'll share that. I don't feel like you just go, hey, good luck on you. I'm not doing nothing. It's like, no, you've got that compassion. That's why, a little bit of that is literally and symbolically of where you work. Nourishing, in this case, in that hospital. What if it's also those thoughts are nourishing your soul, your consciousness? And in doing this, because you are very practical, I do feel like you're already kind of knowing at 15 years, that's been good. It's been a good run. Now you're ready for some new opportunities. That's why I feel like coming up 6 months or sooner will at least the first opportunity be offered. I feel like there might be a couple. And the cool thing is it'll be like, oh, is that too easy for you? Is it really? Good. Keep it too easy. That's a good problem to have.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Maggie.
You
Yes,
got it,
have a
man.
beautiful day,
Have a good one, Kyler. Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Beautiful. I'm seeing so many people opening up to life, man. It's awesome.
This is the time, really. You know,
Yeah.
It's really, really funny because like so many people that have said to me, like, they're like stuck. They feel that they're stuck somewhere.
Yep.
I said, this is where the wall comes up. I said, this is where the wall is. I said, now it's up to us to bust through the wall. I said, because right now we're standing at the wall. So I said, if you feel like you're, stagnated in what you're doing, you're really not. This is just the next step. You have to put one foot in front of the other and go through the wall.
But a lot of people just don't necessarily want to face that wall. Up, turn the other direction. That's pretty much all there is in that direction. Okay, whatever. And right, it takes a lot of guts to break through the barriers of life experience to go, do you have enough faith in yourself and in life in order to keep going?
And a lot of people see those walls as solid and it's just energy. Yeah.
That's why, how to keep yourself out of the box. Don't create a box. Lordy, I'm freaking lazy. Well, I'm going to do that and then have to double work. Keep it easy.
Let's see now. Anybody that's on right now, you can just put it in mute and just keep listening. You can stay right there. That's cool. No problem.
Awesome.
Who is on area code 480?
That's me, it's Reese.
Hey.
Hey, Reese. What's going on, kiddo?
Hi.
Are you back now?
I'm back.
Awesome.
I heard that in a movie once, right?
So, yeah, I mean, since I've been back, it's been a little bit rocky. The move was kind of rocky. And I had talked to you a little bit about some of my jewelry. Well, my jewelry was stolen. And so when you're talking about being stuck, I've kind of felt like, I don't know, I just kind of like crashed a little bit since all of that stressful stuff happened. And I'm just kind of trying to get myself out of that place. So I just wanted to know kind of what you see in terms of my career and relationships and just me being back there.
Beautiful. Mag's throwing down some cards here. Go, Maggie.
I'll start. You can finish.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the Fool here. So this is going to be opening up a brand new set of experiences for you. Absolutely brand new. So in terms of job and relationship, because that's really what you wanted to focus on, there's some new energy coming. Now, I also feel like you might be making decisions from a different place now, and it might be because of your family or your home or where you are now. I just feel like there's a little bit more of a conscious directive here. And so it might change the whole outlook of what you initially intended. But I do feel like you've made some choices based on what you know about yourself, but I also feel like there's a little bit of a shift energy there, and you're just trying to kind of firm up the vision of what it would look like. Okay. But with the Fool, we don't necessarily have a vision. It's about taking a risk, having faith, stepping up, stepping out. And I'm going to encourage you to not to always do it the same way you've done it. Even though it's comfortable and it's familiar, you might need to shake it up a little bit. Use what you know that actually works, but then give yourself some wiggle room. Okay, give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, because the Fool can bring in brand new realities, something we've never seen before. And if we always go about things the same way we went about them, we might create the same experiences, so to speak. So think about where you can open up, be a little bit more, I guess less rigid, I think is what the word I'm looking for, but a little bit more wiggly, so that when you bring in these new energies, they can be more of a vibrational match for what you're growing into. In terms of a relationship, I also feel like there's a lot of things that might come up out of the blue. So again, a little bit more wiggle room. Like if you were always going after this XYZ, maybe open up and wiggle it a little bit and see what that opens up for you, because there is some type of vibrational matching energy with the Six of Wands as an outcome that could come out of this. But remember who you are, stay true to yourself, and then kind of expand from there. What you got?
Yeah, with your work, if because of what you've done or what you've done, basically, if you haven't been connected to an opportunity of maybe a company that you used to work with or work for, that kind of feels like it comes back in as at least a potential opportunity. You do not have to choose it, but it will more than likely be offered to you. Funny, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But in this, I also feel like even though maybe things are kind of, all right, where's it going? What the flag nog? I do feel like in the next couple of months, things are going to start to shift in a very good way. It's almost going to be like a catalyst. And it's really strong for this familiar company. So again, you've worked with them, you've worked for them, that kind of thing. But it's got a good direction to at least be an acclamation to go, okay, we got bills paid, we're doing this. And then I feel like another company or another organization outside of what it is that you would be doing is going to open up a door of opportunity. They'd be like, hey, Reese, I think you're really great at that. And we've got this new dynamic. And, if you're interested, we'd love to talk with you and see if it's something that you might be interested in. It'd be like, ooh, okay, let's talk. It does feel like it has some very good potential to it.
Okay. And you said what kind of time frame do you think that's going to kind of?
Probably, well, it could happen today for all I know, but at the latest, more than likely in the next 2 months or sooner, do I feel like that one opportunity is there? And then there's something else there that's parlaying. I feel like something's being worked on. So whether it's an organization or a company that's going in a different direction or in a new direction, it almost feels like, oh, that'd be a perfect fit for me. I just have to be me. Yes, exactly. It's now time that the very person, the very essence of who you have been, we're always growing, we're always learning, but it's now time to kind of get back into things. And kind of like you're doing moving back here is the old adage of rising from the phoenix, the ashes, and all that good stuff going, yep, okay, we got all the other stuff that's been a very interesting experience. Now I'm going to start to fly and go in a new direction with a different perspective, which in turn will give you a different reaction from that new perspective.
Okay, great, wonderful. Thank you guys so much.
Yes.
Yeah, hugs.
Hi to your son.
Yeah. All right. Big hugs. Yes, I will let him know.
Cool. Lots of love, man. We'll talk with you soon, Reese.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Awesome people. I love that.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Seriously. I mean, I say it all the time, but to call into the show, for crying out loud. I mean, you want to know about yourself. You got all these questions. You got all kinds of things that are going through your mind. You can get the whole thing told about you on the show. So call in. What's it like if you can watch your phone all day long, you can dial a number.
Right. And listen, that's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Use it like a phone, instead of,
instead of a mini computer.
Yeah.
We got people that I see in the morning. I swear to you. I mean, I got to be let's face it. I mean, I got a managerial perceived me, the way it goes, because I've done that my whole life. I've been a manager or a vice president with the mortgage company for many, many years. I mean, it was, one of these things where you always had people that you had to tell what to do. And when I see people looking at their cell phones, watching a program, a real show with earbuds while they work, you wonder why the work never gets done or is slow.
It can be.
There's an excuse why I can't finish that one today because, and it's like, that drives me nuts. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I use my phone for GPS and to make phone calls. And to when I text you guys, you get 1 out of 3 people I text.
Cool. I'm honored.
I mean,
That's
I'm serious.
beautiful. Yeah.
You're like that, my sister, and home.
Isn't it funny with all of this technology, it is bringing people together and separating us. I always say, man, remember back in the day, conversation, communication. Now the kids are standing in front of each other texting. I'm like, look up, look at them, talk with them. That's what I did for my boys. I didn't want them to be dependent, although they, of course, use the phone and all that good stuff. But I wanted them to have some people skills, too, not just come up and be neutral. And it's all through the online that everyone's gotten numb to.
There it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, another thing, too, and I like some of the people that I talk to are in their 20s and low 30s. you know? And they always say to me, like, well, what do you mean, like, you have to do this or you have to do that or whatever, you know? And I said, look, this is the way it goes. When you get up in the morning, I said, you know what you're going to do already for the day. You know where where you have to be, where you're going to go, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I said, go in it. I said, you know, on the bottom of your screen there where it says advanced, you know, you go to advanced things and on your screen. I said, do that in your brain and say, okay, listen, when I go into work, what am I going to do first? I said, if you can do that, just find out just what you're going to do first. It's like, you'll beat it right there. The
You
whole
see,
thing.
and
Because at
notice
least
what
you
you're
know what
saying. Right. Create a future memory. Already see yourself doing it. And it will
exactly.
start to line up a lot more like you give it the nourishment of your thoughts. The universe will bring it right to you effortlessly and give you everything that you do or do not want. It does not question. If you're thinking those thoughts, you must want it, or you wouldn't be planting those seeds, thinking those thoughts.
Right, right. But if you
That's
walk
beautiful.
into your life and you're confused because you don't know what you're going to do first, you know, and you have priorities, your phone, and things like that, that's what screws everything up.
It
And
can,
people go,
yeah.
I don't understand how I didn't do what I wanted to do, or like people that are out looking for jobs. I don't know why I didn't get that job. Well, it's easy because when the guy came out to call your name and then to come into his office to talk to him, you were looking at your phone.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's really it's getting kind of terrible in a way.
Well, and that's the scary part is people have gotten so used to being online that a lot of them have lost their people skills. Some even, I'm like, really? You can't even just say hi to someone? Really? They just bip, up, don't
Here's one
acknowledge.
for you. And look what's taken over. AI.
Oh, it's going to come
I
in.
had a guest. I had a guest on my show that wrote the book, AI. He wrote the,
Okay.
and that guy, we're talking 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. And I have to look him up again because everything that he said in the book, everything. And that, and Diane said the same thing because she was the one that got him as a guest to come into the show. That guy, everything that he had in that book is happening
Wow.
right now. It's all going on, including Chat GPT.
What is that?
That
Uh,
that's the AI that writes your books for you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Those are impressive.
Yes.
Again, just myself, but I share the fact a lot that I do remote viewing and a variety of other things. But every time I tap in, by the mid 2030s, AI will be running this entire planet. It will no longer be separated countries. It'll be a unified world. It'll all be a one world government. You're only a nut job till it's validated. Watch.
Well, we'll be the technicians or the supervisors at that point. We will not be the boss.
That's that. Yeah, and again, without being too conspiracy nutty, they're starting to phase out the middle class. There's only going to be the wealthy or the others. And that's why that
Well,
online thing, yeah, is kind of scary, but they're going to strongly try to move everything online just to kind of delete the monetary aspects.
I still say I'm sorry. I mean, it was like it's been my whole life, and that I believe in America and the laws that it has and the Constitution. I've got to find a picture. I have to call my sister and see if she still has it. I have a picture of me when I was burnt the first time and I was in the hospital
Mm.
of a man. He was the president of a bank, a bunch of banks and things, but he came into the hospital because of something that I said that I had said to the nurses and things. I was 9 at the time. You can see me like in the thing. I have the Constitution, the whole thing on the badass paper and everything else, the real thing, and that I had the real Constitution, and I was like I was read it all while I was in the hospital. I read it to everybody,
Wow.
but ever since that time when I was 9 years old, I did nothing but in my spare time try to find out the meanings of a lot of things that are in the Constitution. The Constitution, is written a lot deeper than people think. They read the words and they believe that, oh, well, that's what it is because the words say it. Not quite. there's a little bit more color to what they're actually saying. The men that actually wrote that piece of paper in the first place and that were intuitives, they knew what was coming. They knew what was in the future. They knew that they had to put on a piece of paper, not hearsay or conspiracy. They had to put on a piece of paper in written word what they wanted to do and what they said should be done. Not could be done, not will be done, but what has to be done to keep everything straight. Every other country, anywhere in the whole world, doesn't have a constitution like ours. Ours buttons everything up. You can't fight your way out of it. The only thing you can do is just forget about it. They believe it's not there. Oh, what can isn't that a boat? Remember the Constitution? The boat? Okay. It's like in Washington, they have no idea. Like so many people that are turning around saying, well, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. So why don't they do something about it?
Right. If you've got knowledge that it's wrong, then how is it right?
Exactly. I tell people all the time, come to the show because we will do something about it.
Yes.
I'm serious.
We're here. Yep.
Exactly. And I mean, it's not just like this show and everything else. The other one is going to, as soon as I get all my stuff, I'm off for the week. So I'm going to do a lot of stuff right here. But Talk Now is going to be something where people can come into the Skype just like this, can come in and talk about what is on their mind, what they want to talk about, what do they want to ask questions about. A bunch of people come in, and believe me, you're going to see a lot of things happen, especially in that kind of show, that people will come out with an idea that might really, really work, something good. It's like a giant think tank.
Mm-hmm. Power in numbers.
Yeah, but look at the energy that's going to flare out of that thing.
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
I mean, wow. I mean, and it's no holes barred, meeting. I mean, you can say whatever you say. This is internet. I have a DB license, so digital broadcasting. That is not under FCC rules.
Wow.
Too bad. But that's just the way it is. And people will be able to, if they're not feeling good, if they feel bad about something, or if they have a dating life that's not working, I want to hear it all. Seriously, because I might have something to put, a little bird in their mind, or someone that comes on may have the idea to something or the solution.
Yeah.
Or a how to say it, a proposal to continue what they're doing and right what they say is wrong. Yep. All these things is like, it's so easy. I don't know why somebody else didn't do this. I mean, they do it on a couple of shows, but they're like close. But I'm going to go a little more out of the lines.
Good.
Like
put your own flavor on it, man. Right. What color are we going?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they look at the guys that were fired from Fox. I mean, they went a little out of the lines.
Okay.
But then again, they got a boss.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it nice to be your own? Oh, Lord.
I am the boss.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, besides D, yeah.
Well, that's all.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I think Kit's the boss.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Bobby, it's always great, brother.
Good.
Thanks.
Now, you were going to say something.
Me?
You.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I was just laughing at your boss comment.
Oh, excuse me.
That's awesome.
Now, we're also on some different planes right now and for these videos and everything else in it. So, I mean, I've been called so many times on I use usually non-copyrighted music, right? With nothing in the thing in that. Oh man, it pulls you all over. Like if you sneeze the wrong way, and then somebody's gonna say, "Oh well, you did this and this rule." So I'm having a good time because I can get away on this other place.
Yeah.
They allow you to use something that everybody can listen to anytime they want to anyway. So what's the big deal?
Nice.
So there we go.
Always good, brother.
You're going to love this one. My dog loves it.
Yeah.
Everybody now, thank you very much for calling in tonight. You know what? Right here at WKIT, Pyramid One World Radio. God bless y'all. Bob Charles.